another stunning fish for Team Daiwa. Nice one, John. One of us must be confident. Isn't that beautiful? The magical 30 figure. No, it's old Twisty Tail. I have a feeling Bill Cotton saw. So it's pretty good to see old friends. And Bill, I think he was 26 then. This fish is definitely 28, 29, maybe the 30. There you are, my friend. Old Twisty Tail. Oh, this carp is a good 30, 32, 33 pounds, somewhere around the 15 kilo mark. Absolute gorgeous. And it's done a poo-poo all over me. I'm absolutely covered in its natural food. Gorgeous. Right. One of the most useful set of tools for the hyperactive carp angler is, of course, a set of scales. But me, being a complete pillock, who not only thinks he can catch carp, but also film them and bring them into your front room, has left his at home. So we'll weigh this fish on a borrowed set and guesstimate all the others unless we get a whacker, and then we'll run around the lake and beg some. This fish weighs 21 pounds. The first fish of the session. 2 o'clock in the morning, of course, could I find a camera crew? Not a chance. Zeroed the scales, made a bit of allowance for the water I've got in the sack, because we're dealing in a very sandy environment. And we don't want the fish to damage itself at all. So, 121 pound, beautiful mirror carp from Rainbow Lake in the south of France. Now, who am I, you might be saying? And what on earth am I to do with carp fishing? My name is Liam Dale, and I'm the big game and boat fishing consultant for Daiwa, UK. Nicely privileged position, not an easy one to get. It does mean I get to test the best gear in the world on fish that I specialise in, which include marlin, hammerhead sharks, etc. But on this session, I'm going to try and show you the viewpoint of the hyperactive carp angler. So we'll trot through the session, look at various bits and pieces, and take things as we go along. And the fish, which we hope will run towards me at least. It wasn't easy getting the position as consultant, actually. When I heard it was going, I wrote to John Middleton, sales and boss man, and I said, Dear John, I hear the position going of consultant for big game at Daiwa UK. Please, can I have the job? Yours sincerely. Faxed it off. We've all got faxes now, haven't we? Got a very quick reply. Very prompt. But it was what I thought a bit curt, really. There were only 3 words. It merely said, no, you can't. You'd think the sales and marketing director of a company the size of Daiwa would be able to spell can't, wouldn't you? Anyway. Anyway. Bye-bye. In the end, of course, I was lucky enough to get the position. So that means I do get the odd free bit of gear to put through its paces. But my real work as a filmmaker, specialising in angling, is that I've had the privilege of working with some of the greatest anglers in the world. And in the UK especially, in course, with people like Bob Nudd. And in carp fishing, the likes of Kevin Maddox, Bill Cottam of Nutribaits, Mike Wilmot of Essential Products, has kept me in contact with some particularly successful carp anglers. And I've had a chance to steal some of the tricks of their trade. The swim that I've got here is about 25 metres by 25 metres, and I've made full use of the space. So in a while I'm going to take you round the site and show you the hyperactive carp angler's approach to his fishing. Right, I've cleaned myself up, changed my shirt, because the fish had beaten that one up a little bit. Actually, it's quite funny that the camera wasn't with me at 2 o'clock this morning, because as I landed this fish, put her on the unhooking mat, cleared her from the landing net, she came right to life again and gave me a great crack with her tails right in the boulangerie. So that's something perhaps I wouldn't have liked on film. But we'll go through now the various parts of the Hyperactive Carp Angler's toolkit, as I said, and we'll start off here with the rods and reels for the job. Now the rods are 12-foot, 2 3/4 pound test curve dictator models, designed to take fish from long range specifically. They're matched up with a revolutionary new reel, the 6000T Tournament Twist Buster. Twist busting technology from Daiwa has revolutionised fixed spool reel fishing and has, as the statement says, basically reduced by up to about 90% line twist on retrieve and recovery. And that goes a long way to sorting out the technical problems of this form of fishing. The main lines I use are a new model, Sea Tamer from the USA, which I've been running at sea up to a capacity of about 50 pounds very successfully on large shark and skate off Scotland. Here I'm running 2 of the rods with 17 pound breaking strain, and my ultimate long range rod is in fact a Maxima line at 20 pounds breaking strain. The pod and support system is a Solar. It's the best there is. I've tried 2 or 3 of the others, but the stability that you can get with this particular pod and its response to weather conditions and weathering and erosion and exposure and everything else, brilliant. The only thing I would say is always make sure you carry a screwdriver and a pair of pliers just to give you some extra boomph on the tightening up department. The buzzers, surprisingly, are Daiwa, of course, and I've learned to trust these buzzers and know what they're telling me and what's going on, so we won't say anything more than that. Springers, again by Solar, quiver lock system to advise us if a fish has picked up a bait charged away, or if in fact it's actually caused a drop back and hurtling towards us. And within half an hour of arriving yesterday, I did have 2 dropbacks from sturgeon. One a big one, and pulled too hard, lost him, and the other one didn't hook himself cleanly enough, and I didn't get that fish either. So our carp was the first one. Later on, we'll have a look at the rigs that I'm using, which are Greedy Pig rig, Snowman rig, single high concentrate Nutribait boilie pop-up, 20mm, and double pop-ups, double combination, sinking pop-up, etc. But I'm not going to spend ages on rigs because the other guys can do them a hell of a lot better than I can. And the same with the knots. There are other people who can tie knots a hell of a lot better and a hell of a lot faster than me. I use Grinner, I use 4-turn water knot, but Kevin Maddox and the likes can demo those a lot better. So if you really want to get into knots and rigs, etc., then look at some of the other guys' vids, because they've got more to say that's sensible than I have. That's the kit at this end. The boilie department, the bait department is of course elsewhere, and we'll move over in that direction now. Welcome to the bait department. As you can see, I predominantly use ready-mades. If you want to see a really good video on how to make your own boilies, how to make your own baits, crumbing them, etc., and presentation, look at the NutriBaits video that we made about a year or so ago. It's a great piece of work. As far as I'm concerned, there's absolutely no point in going over old ground in this one. So we will look quite closely at the ready-mades that are available. Now, what's important, particularly about bait, for a trip like this is you really need results, right? You've come a long way, and although you can afford to blank in English waters, etc. for a session, when you've made so much effort to travel so far, you've got to have the right gear when you get there. And for me, absolutely, without a doubt, the #1 ready-made on the market is the NutriBaits Classic Combination Boilie. My favourite brand is Crean Kajauza. And in fact, I'm actually going to be working with Crean Kajauza pop-up combinations and Crean Kajauza sinking boilers predominantly for the whole of the session. I'll also, if I choose, use Kevin Maddox's Peanuts, which are very good, Kevin Maddox's Floaters, which are very good, and as backup boilies, KM stuff to give me good economical boilies for spreading around as free offerings. For particle, I'm going to be using a mixture of maize, hemp and groats. This is all being left to soak for 24 hours before we deliver it to the carp in order for them to have no problems whatsoever taking it on board. This is being soaked in lake water with multi-mino thrown in as an additive, an enhanced attractor of very high quality. All these baits will be delivered in various ways. The particles will be thrown out by hand from the boat. Cobra throwing sticks, which I've become quite good at and quite accurate with. I really like this system. I think it's a clever, ergonomically designed tool that's aimed to deliver at great range and accurately. Nice long king, short mini for the short range stuff. For presenting the actual hook baits and rigs themselves, I shall use Christ-on PVA stringer for free offerings, and what I really like for wrapping up the whole caboodle, PVA bait bags. Put the whole caboodle in one sack, drop it in one location, regardless of the fact that it may sit on a weed bed or into a pocket inside a weed bed. You know that your offerings, both free and hook, are together. The last piece of equipment in the bait department is a Coleman electrically run cool box. This helps keep all our presentation bait in pristine condition at perfect temperature. Voila! We know how to get our priorities right. Laundry department. Short washing line for those hummy socks and those well carp caressed t-shirts. Give your carp sacks a quick rinse and dry them out properly before you travel and you'll have no niff. The Hyperactive Carp angler sacrifices much in the interest of his fishing. This is the catering department. Tonight I will be on such a meagre offering as bacon, sausage, mushrooms, black pudding, fried bread, tomatoes, grilled chipolatas, closely followed by bananas and custard. I shall be roughing it. The hyperactive angler cares nothing, of course, for how he looks. This is the very small vanity department. Notice the optional hairbrush, clean t-shirt, tripod, camera and flash gun for those gleaming toothy smiles in a close-up. And this, of course, is where the film crew are carried. That's a camera person, VTR, sound operator, cameras, recorders, tapes, batteries, sound equipment, recharging, the whole shemack. Notice the one small cigar, available for when the presenter finally gets the take right. This is the fish recovery and control section. KIS rod boxes, the best way of transporting rods throughout the world, especially good on aeroplanes. Nashi's landing nets. Nashi's carp sacks. Kettle full of water to keep your unhooking mat cool and also to keep your fish wet. Kevin Nash unhooking mat. But this one's a special model because in times of strife, it also doubles as a prayer mat. The hyperactive angler is of course very keen on physical fitness and his personal condition. so the oars are very justifiably left for emergencies only. We use a Sigma 30-pound thrust 5-speed electric engine, combined with a very large battery so it doesn't run out too often, and therefore we haven't got to carry it to the charger every day. And finally, the domestic and sleeping department. Many anglers say the worst invention in carping was the bivvy, because it isolates the angler from close contact with his rods. Back in the days when men were real men and sheep didn't feel so threatened, the angler slept outdoors next to his rods. A policy the hyperactive angler would completely agree with. However, should he see a small white cloud on the horizon, or feel a breath on the wind, he would also beat a hasty retreat to these frugal surroundings. Note the very important video remote control. It's a long way from one end of a bivvy to another. Enough of all this frivolity. Let's get on with the plot. Ah, you're here. 2 o'clock in the afternoon carp action with weed. Large dollop of weed. Fish came out of the snags on the right. I was in trouble. Here he is. Not a big one, but it's another French carp. Green still. Don't head to the other lines, come on. Whoosh. Come and meet me. One of us wins. I win. Okay. Right. Lovely. Rod down. Choose the unhooking match, we go. You and me. There we are. You lie here. Let's have a look. Oh, jammy. Right, okay, fair enough. Saves unhooking you. Hello. Bonjour. Got a little bang in his tail. Arguing with them snags, eh? Oi, 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 oi. Oh! It's just sometimes that hard bit trying to get your gear out of the way and yet protect the fish at the same time. There! Bright sunshine. Alright, we're sliding up the scale. No pun intended. There. We're sliding up with a fish. Oh yes. That's a little better. Approaching 20. We're getting there. Plane go by for the aerial photography. Won't look very big at this range. Beautiful. Aren't you? Whoa! Ready to go back? Okay. Now don't you tangle up the rods, alright? One last look. water. Yes, that is freedom. Au revoir. This is the swim that I've chosen. Apart from being absolutely beautiful, about 10 minutes ago the wind was howling right into this little bay. And wind therefore pushes food, and food therefore brings, we hope, the fish. I've picked 3 particular features which I'm going to fish. A feature is an area of particular interest from a fish's point of view. One of them is the end of that second island over there. Now what I've got there is a drop away from the island itself to a small plateau at about 6 foot of water. Now we're running a temperature at the moment of about 90 degrees, a water temperature of about 70, and I think the fish will be sunbathing in those margins off that island. The second point that I've picked is this island straight ahead with a single tree. It's quite snaggy, but again, shallow foot of water, 6 to 8 foot off, there's a very nice plateau, and it'll give me a feature that I can recognise against the skyline in case I have to rehook and recast any of my baits after dark. And the third feature I've picked basically is just coming off the edge of the second one. That area is about 60 feet wide, and I'm going to put a pair of baits right on the edge, just in case any fish that are wary of picking up bigger stuff in the middle from the pattern we're going to make decide to take the opportunity of a hook bait right off the edge. So that's it. Bigger carp, or, if I'm grossly unlucky, one of the lake's famous sturgeon. Already had a slightly bigger one of those than the lake supplies. Yes, we're coming in. Have a minor problem. This other rod is in the way. Fish is taken on the middle rod on snowman rig. Oh, yes. Oh, look at his shoulders. The shoulders. Right, going to lose the other rod out of the way. Ah. Bleep, bleep. Pick that up the tree. See, this fish wants to come and meet me. Yes. In case we get any crash, goes the other rod. In comes the fish. Brill. Oh yeah, right here. Sure how to get this without falling in the water. All right, that's all the gear. Ah, yeah, 30, definitely. And a bit. 30 and a bit. Not 40, but we mustn't be greedy. Yeah. First of all, lose the hook. Slack line. Yes. Boilie's gone. Bolt rig. Snowman. The effective snowman. Lovely. Lovely jubbly. Now then, don't you slide down the hill and I move you. There's a good lad. There's a good lad. I think we'll face you up there. Yes. Working on the hills here, aren't we? You and me. I guess I should really talk to this carp in French. Really dark colours. Right then. Let's roll you over. Please, don't kick me. And up we go. Oh yeah. Oh, this carp is a good 30. 32, 33 pounds. Somewhere around the 15 kilo mark. Absolute gorgeous. And it's done a poo-poo all over me. I'm absolutely covered in its natural food. Gorgeous. Right. Still. Well, one of us must be confident. Isn't that beautiful? The magical 30 figure. Really want to put it back, but away we go. Need to get round that other rod. I should go and see him. Look at the back on that, eh? That's where all the weight is. Quick look from the other side. Hey, while I indulge myself. Bye bye. Au revoir. You beauty. So, what about this water, this fabulous rainbow lake? This is my 4th visit. On the first trip, I filmed the pioneering session for the ultimate carping video, and this is my 3rd visit as an angler. It is beautiful. It is complicated. It is a Victorian lignite pit of around 100 acres. It has many snags, a few particularly good carp, some annoying to some, great to others sturgeon, but a very special feel. In its opening year, it has acquired a fence, a road all the way around, showers, toilets, telephone, water, and a clubhouse with bar. Terms are reasonable, at about 1,200 French francs a week. After a comfortable night's crossing with P&O out of Portsmouth, it is 8 hours drive from Le Havre, 5 of those on the auto routes. I fished honeymoon swim for 4 nights on the first angling visit for a 16-pounder in October. The second trip I fished Tony Wenkel's swim for 5 nights without a bleep in April. And now I'm back in honeymoon swim for this 6-day session, and so far I've caught a 33. The bug is key. cured. As beautiful as this lake is, there are many more waters in the world, and I aim to fish a lot of them. Live planes, live fish. Third night, 20 to 9, and a glorious French evening. The fish, which I suspect is a carp, has taken the long-range rod 8 feet off an island in 6 feet of water. Bait's a double 20mm Nutribaits popper. Soaked in Kevin Maddock's Strawberry Enhancer for about a year. The hook baits had dropped over a sparse but quite large bed of particle, about half a kilo of 15mm Nutribaits as free offerings. The pickup was slow and hesitant, which gave us the opportunity to nearly get the camera going and record live a full-blown carp run. Okay, fish is coming towards us. I'm going to drop this inside rod. Ah, and she's off. She's off. Lost it. Oh, the pain, the pain. I don't know why. I don't know why. Oh, hook's pulled, I think. Oh, yeah. I don't think I did anything wrong, but we'll soon find out. As the saying goes, it was a nice fish. Let's have a look here. See what has happened. Whew. It's even warming me up. A lot of weed. I think the weeds killed the hook hold. And the fish threw it. Ah, look at that. I've even got the boilies back. I have a feeling it was the biggest fish of the session so far. Look at that, no problems, none at all. Well, after last night's disappointment and that loss in the evening, I rode the double pop-up out again, and off that middle rod took this beautiful creature, this strange looking dinosaur, about 1 o'clock in the morning. Typical, isn't it? I went all the way to Kazakhstan to catch one of these. That fish looked like this. What a big fatty. This fish is some cousin about 8 times removed from the beluga, but it is a sturgeon, and it weighs in the mid-20s. Great little scrappers, but I do think they cause chaos and mayhem on a carp bed. However, very friendly and lie in the arms well. Let's pop it back again. One 20th century dinosaur. Now, please go and bother somebody else's baits. Yes. Goodbye, Mr. Sturge. Okay, we get to the inevitable and hopefully not too boring piece on rigs and a summary of events so far. We're fishing a 6-day session. We're at the end of the 3rd day, and results so far are as follows. Large sturgeon lost, carp 22, 17, 33, 28, 19, carp 24, sturgeon large lost, carp large lost, sturgeon 24, 25. The Greedy Pig rig hasn't produced anything. What has produced has been the soaked pop-ups in the Kevin Maddox Wild Strawberry Enhancer. Now the pop-ups are Nutribait, Cream Kajausa, classic combination, and somewhere along the lines I was screaming away that they've been soaking for a year, exaggerating at the moment. In reality they've been in there for about 4 months, and very good it's proving to be. As is also the main line that I've used. The rigs are in principle the same with minor variations, so we'll trot through. Mason's Fish Tamer, this £17 line, has proved very effective. I've had no mainline breaks whatsoever, considering how this water can be a little bit snaggy. So with the exception of the £20 that I pointed out earlier on Maxima, we've been running with that very effectively and worth looking at. All my swivels are size 6s, size 5s, mustads. No problem there, I use them at sea. All the hook link material has been Merlin, and will continue to be Merlin £25 from Christon, carried through the eye of the hook to make the hair. The hooks themselves have been Series 1, size 2 Foxies, no messing. Very effective, I like that size for this water. They may seem a bit big, but we're looking for big fish. And out comes the sun again, so I'll disappear into my shades. Boilie stops, Nashies, top rods, no messing, dead simple. Other bits and pieces that have helped is obviously the traditional Swiss Army knife with the skizzers. That cuts the Christon a lot better than the pinchers. Nail clippers for doing the mono, oily needle, the inevitable gunk, some squirt for bait soak spray from Nutribait, bit of rubber tubing, and when I just can't tie things that well, a quick dab of Loctite on the hair to stick it to the size of the hook has presented it better for me. The rigs themselves, let's take the first one, sliding ledger, no messing, about 17, 18 inches long of trace, and this one is with a piece of rubber tubing, and it's a double 20mm pop-up. We'll have a close look at that, and then we'll see how this operates in the water. This is in fact non-enhanced, it's a double 20mm pop-up combination. This is the second trace, shorter. This is a double 20mm enhanced pop-up. And again, we've got the little bit of plastic tubing on the hook for better presentation. It's a bolt rig, but it's a releasable one. So should the weight get jammed, everything will come out like that. Let's have a look at this one in the water. Popped up, not so far off the bottom. Again, self-explanatory. And the third rig, a single 20mm strawberry enhanced sinking boilie. Now, sometimes I want to vary the length of the hair, and I'm not brilliant at tying the loop accurately for the boilie stop. This is where I use the super glue, straight down the shank. No problem there at all. This trace is about 14 inches long and will be lowered under control in about 5 feet of water. Let's see how this looks underwater. Lowered under control, that should sit on the bottom, or if necessary, just on top of the weed very nicely. Hopefully that'll be a sturgeon beater. Well, that's the rigs I'm going to work with for the next 3 nights. Being primarily a sea angler, I'm of course quite good at casting long range, but the accuracy is not what it can be with some of these carp people. So I row my stuff out. People can take the mickey out of that if they like, but I get my baits and my hook presentation exactly where I want it on that basis, and my free offerings spread around it. The time I do have to cast, of course, is when I catch a fish at night and I'm recasting, obviously. So at that time, I've been using Christon Super Meltdown PVA stringer. And if I'm feeling less brave, or I'm concerned that I'm hitting weedy areas, I go straight for Nashies PVA bait bags. Brilliant. Drop the whole thing in, tie it up, lob it out. You at least know your free offerings are going close to, if not on top of, your hook baits. That's it. That's all the bits and pieces. I'm going to go and motor these out now and see what happens tonight. was a difficult one to judge. Oh, nice fish. Nice fish. Come off of my baits. Careering towards the other lines at the moment. A little bit of left-hand side strain. See what happens. Try and steer him away. So far so good. Moving through.
Yeah.
Clear the lines. So I walk back towards my net. Yeah, it's another sturgeon. Coming through. Hopefully we're clear of all the lines. Easy. Probably spooked when he sees the net. See the line?
Mm-hmm.
And there's Mr. Sturge, looking somewhat astonished. Probably do a belt off again. No. Keep back. Come on, lad. Hello, it's old Twisty Tail. I have a feeling Bill Cottam saw you a while back. Okay, to the landing net. Or, more importantly, to the unhooking net. Well, not a very big struggle, but lovely to have a bit of evening action into the sunset. It's old Twisty Tail. This sturgeon I last saw being caught by Bill Cottam of NutriBaits last year when we came to make a film pioneering this water. So it's pretty good to see old friends, and Bill, I think he was 26 then. This fish is definitely 28, 29, maybe the 30. There you are, my friend. Old Twisty Tail. Come back to tell the tale. What a terrible gag. Right, back to the water. Now please go away from my baits. Join me at a complicated time. Nice carp, middle rod. Got it in, but he's going to come crashing through what's on the inside if I'm not careful. Oh, and we have yet another snag. It's multi-rod time. Up the tree. They're scrappy fish. They really are scrappy fish. I'm uncomfortable. Ooh. Ah. God knows what we're bringing in as well. Oh! Oh, it's all hung on. Long range rod, snowman. 20mm Crinker Jowser Nutribaits with a 15mm pop-up. And a great mess, I'm not careful. Bigger fish. We're sliding up, we're sliding up. Come on, meet me. Trouble landing them here is a 2-meter drop right on the edge. So you can't get stuck in. The fish is home. Ha! Trying not to puff. All right. Do the mat. Still fighting. Oh yeah, we're getting a little bigger. And so's the fish. Right, calm myself down. I'll learn him. Bolt rig presentation. Oi! Booted the boilies off somewhere. Size 2 partridge. Been a bit fortunate on all the scissors today. Bang! Ran this trace just a little longer. Swap the boilies off somewhere. Right. Reach safely out of the way. See Mr. Scrappy. Yep. That's it. Hey! Cacking out some maize, or various bits of particle, probably natural particles, I think. See the colouring of the fish, the way the lignite gets to them. Well, we popped past 20 here, just about. Bit of water. Beaut. Stand up for me. Alright then. Yes. Alright. Haha. And the sun comes out. Be nice to have the photos of that one, really, wouldn't it, eh? Lovely. I think I'll cuddle this one back to the water. But the numbers are going up. The numbers are going up. You should keep. I'll make. You're away. That's easy.
Yeah.
Pascal, play in the bateau. What? Merci Pascal. Voilà. Bigger carp. A bigger carp, double 20mm, Nutribaits pop-up boilie, 7 o'clock in the evening. Okay, back on the carp after 2 evenings on sturgeon. The lump was a hell of a positive bite, but we couldn't film it because Judith was in the showers. Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous, and we're getting bigger. Oui, oui. S'il vous plaît. Okay, I've just upped my personal best on a fine French carp with a bloody audience. Ah! What do we got there, Jude? About 17 and a half?
17 and a half.
17 and a half must make, I don't know, just a tad under 40. My new personal best French carp spanker. I'm going to sack the fish up, calm down, clear the audience, take my pickies, slip her back quietly. But we can have a quick peep first at what I've got myself here. There we go. Too big for me to handle with my puny self. There we are. One absolute beauty. We cracked it, Nutribaits. Perfection. Sacking time. There we go, out into the sunlight. And that's the nearest I'm going to try and pick her up, because if I start getting any cockier, I just don't actually have the experience at this weight. So, without further ado, can have a look at the head, look at the ridge on that back. Turn around, and we're going back home. And I'm going to call it quits, because it's been a hell of a session. A hell of a session. Last little look from the other side. Turn her into the sun. And I have to say it, another stunning fish for Team Daiwa. Nice one, John. Okay. Away we go. The time comes in the end for even the hyperactive angler to wend his weary way back to the real world. Actually, I nearly didn't get here on this trip. I broke down just outside Evreux. I couldn't help it. I just started crying and wailing. What a daft gag. It's been a delightful and successful session. It's a shame the camera can't be running all the time. I could have shown you the very big Koipu who discovered the bait department. Not content with some free offerings from me, he proceeded to raid bags under cover of darkness, and I was under siege. all the time playing a fish in the dark whilst being serenaded by a deer stag standing just 20 metres off. I think he also was on the pull. The loss of a big fish because I didn't keep a close eye on buzzer batteries. Last night, a woman arrived in my swim at midnight. "In your dreams," I hear you cry. But she was crying and panic-stricken, and in the car was a young child. She spoke no English, and in hysterical French, I learnt that she couldn't find the exit. She was too scared to even turn the car round. I calmed her down and guided a now hysterically relieved young mother out of the gate. As I walked the half-mile back to my swim, trying not to tread on the frogs in the dark, I realised how simple it was to get lost in an environment that we anglers take for granted. So remember, when someone approaches your bivvy in the night, it's not always going to be Mick Payne of Pyramid Bait and Tackle in Holland, who told me a tale of how he recently pranked a now ex-mate by reversing the subject's umbrella, placing it into his face, and pulling like hell on one of his lines at 3 a.m. The chaos and panic created by old Lumpy of Holland was a fine and very classy stitch-up. Take it easy out there.